Nebraska, Viterbo, and Valley City State are all 3-3. The Vikings beat Bellevue here by a single point. Bellevue's 10-11. Viterbo's 8-9.
Hey college students, are you looking for a part-time job that works around your schedule, pays well, and gives you free money for college every year? McDonald's offers all of it. We can work around your schedule, and we give $2,500 scholarships to everyone who works for 3 months and averages 15 hours per week. That's 2 full shifts a week or 3 shifts of 5 hours. It's that easy. We've already given out more than $75,000 to students in North Dakota this year. Let us help you become the next scholarship recipient. Come join our team. Text ND29 to 38000 to apply today.
You live life on the move. While you determine what direction that may be, we're here to help along the way. So go. Go with values. Go with friends. Go with support. Go with convenience.
Valley City State, everything else will take place on Friday and again on Saturday. But again, just kind of reflecting on that matchup, Dakota State over Mayville State, 71-48. Final score in that matchup down in Madison. New rankings did come out today, and the number 1 team in the country remains Dort, Iowa, with 19 of 20 first place votes. Marion, Indiana got the other and is second. Campbellsville, Kentucky, Indiana Wesleyan, and Clark, Iowa go 3, 4, 5. Other notables around us, let's start in the league. Dakota State's now a top 10 team. They are number 9 at 18-4 overall. Mayville State moves up a spot despite the clobbering that they took at Dakota State. The Comets moved up to number 12 as far as the latest poll is concerned. Typically this poll is not forgiving, but it certainly was to the Comets in the way this came out. Other notables around us, down in the GPAC, Concordia, Nebraska 6th out in the Frontier. Carroll, Montana's down a couple of spots to number 8 this week. Other teams around us, Grandview, Iowa down in the GPAC is 17th. And that will do it for the teams that are around us as far as notables are concerned. Not even a big presence for the GPAC in this particular poll. Just kind of, unless we missed a couple of things, I was looking for Northwestern, didn't see them there. Kind of a tough situation for that poll this week. Briar Cliff dropped out of the top 25. They're a GPAC team. Dakota Wesleyan's getting votes, but not in, as is Briar Cliff. Also getting votes is Rocky Mountain out in the Frontier League, and that's everything that we've got as far as the notables are concerned. So as far as what we have going on near us, Dort's obviously a GPAC number 1 ranked team in the country. Concordia's 6th, Dakota State's 9th, Mayville State's 12th. That's a couple of big matchups there between those two, and Dakota State putting their stamp on the league with that authoritative win over Mayville State back on Friday night. And that's Drive for the Title here tonight on our Sanford Health Valley City pregame report, presented by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. Up next, the head coach, Vanessa Johnson, the head coach of Valley City State University Viking women's basketball. Her comments coming into the night, including looking for some balance offensively and the absence of a player that we'll tell you about coming up next as well. So do stay with us. This is Viking basketball from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. It's the Vikings and Dickinson State here on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Grottberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grottberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grottberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grottbergelectric.com.
Lever's Foods, best quality, best price. Lever's Foods, best service, they're nice. Lever's Foods, they make everything right. Lever's Foods.
All this week at Lever's Foods in Valley City, save on Tombstone original pizzas, 2 for $7.88. Fresh oranges, 99 cents a pound. Boneless pork loin chops, just $2.99 a pound. General Mills cereals, 2 for $6.88. And sweet yellow onions, only 99 cents a pound. Delivery is available by calling 845-1732. Lever's Foods, Valley City.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, and you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care. Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking basketball tonight and the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC. From the Fieldhouse, the Bubble, the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse tonight, Valley City State at home to take on Dickinson State Twin Bill. The women up first, the men will follow. The Viking women are 9-11 overall, 3-3 in the league. Dickinson State's 1-5 inside North Star Athletic Association play, 6-14 overall. Pregame report brought to you tonight by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. We were joined before the matchup by the head coach of the Viking women's basketball team, Vanessa Johnson, and we talked about the must-win nature of this matchup. Is it must-win? Well, Coach Johnson was tempted for a moment to go back in time and say even last week was a must-win, but tonight, probably towards those goals of a home game, a must-win situation for the Vikings.
Oh, yeah, and that Viterbo one was a must-win as well. But here we are. I'm not going back. I'm not talking about it. But, yes, all of these right now are must-wins. And like we've been saying is, like, the ones that you can drop are ahead of you, but the ones that you have to take are the ones that you're either tied with or below you. And so that's this one right now.
Yeah, and you got Viterbo coming back to your place later, so that's nice.
Yep.
Performance at Forest City, that was pretty good. You had to bounce back, and it's tough to do that. But you said that you were concerned about the kids in the locker room after Viterbo. They proved you right. They were ready to come out and play.
Yeah, I agree with you. We were hungry. I was very impressed with how we came out and started that game, and it was a good one for us to get some confidence back in some areas that we were lacking, but also good to see us fight through some adversity and get that W.
Coach, you've got Ashlyn Diemert scoring right now. You've got Haley Roberts scoring right now. J.C. Richter, little Adriana Torres. You're going to need one more somewhere along the way. Is that the mission that's left right now, is to find a little bit more balance?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's every coach's battle, is trying to figure out how you can get 5 kids to score the basketball at all times. But those that are coming in, like Madison Wilhelmy off the bench, is providing really good minutes for us, hitting big shots for us when we need her to. Everyone's kind of doing their part. We just got to see if someone can do a little bit more either off the bench or maybe see if Torres can spark for us right here in the second half of conference play. She's very capable of doing that, so I'm excited to see.
And Adriana Torres could be a big factor in tonight's matchup. The reason why Haley Roberts, who's been very good as of late, scoring average up to 9.6, had a 20-point game over the weekend. Haley's inactive tonight. Haley Roberts is out with an illness, and this time of the year, obviously, with the types of illnesses that we have going around, gutting it out against some of these new viruses that we're running up against just isn't an option. And so tonight, Haley Roberts is away from the team due to illness, which means that when you go looking for that additional scoring, Adriana Torres at 10.2 points per game, still battling through that nagging injury that she's had for a couple of years. She's probably feeling a little extra pressure to stand really tall in this one tonight. And that's our pregame report, brought to you tonight by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. Starting lineups in basketball are on the way next, so do stay with us. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
This is Charlotte Inkstead, a former Valley City Highliner and Valley City State Viking, and now a member of the Viking Booster Board. I've experienced firsthand the support our Valley City community has for VCSU. Donations to scholarships and support for the Vikings can truly make a difference in the lives of student athletes. However you'd like to be involved, we'd love to have you on our team. It can be as simple as making a donation to Century Club scholarships, showing up and cheering on the Vikings, or joining me and other volunteers on the Booster Board. For more information, contact Viking Athletics at 701-845-7160.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
Rural health care faces many challenges to provide quality and affordable care, and CHMRC Health of Valley City is no exception. They pride themselves on providing quality health care close to home and hope that on Giving Hearts Day, Thursday, February 8th, you'll share your giving heart with them. The goal is to raise $3,000 to be used to fund their new cardiac monitoring system. Share your giving heart today. Donations can be made by clicking on their ad on newsdakota.com or by check. Simply note in the memo Giving Hearts Day and drop your checks off at the front desk of CHMRC Health of Valley City.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Lockout Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue at 701-845-6938 or James M. Lockout at CPA 701-845-1660. Services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, and securities offered through Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer and member FINRA and SIPC.
Ivy Real Estate Group, your locally owned real estate brokerage, is cheering for the home team. Listen to KOVC for the Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game following every Valley City Highliner and VCSU Vikings game.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC. The band from Valley City State's in the house tonight. They performed our national anthem. It'll be fun to have that atmosphere tonight. Let's get started with the first of two this evening. The Viking women at home to take on Dickinson State University, the men to follow. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for tonight. Starting lineups are brought to you by CHI, Mercy Health Valley City, Hello Human Kindness. Tonight for Dickinson State, the guards will be Caden Steele, a 5'7 junior from Newell, South Dakota. Tinley Pearson, a 5'7 junior from Casey, Wyoming. And Heather Labrie, a 5'5 senior from Ekalaka, Montana. The forwards are Catherine Fox, a 5'8 junior from White Shield, North Dakota. And Samantha Ose, a 6' junior from Reeder, North Dakota. Eric Nelson in his 5th season as the head coach of Dickinson State, assisted by Jimmy Ducharme. For the Viking women tonight, the guards will be Ellie Broughton, a 5'3 freshman from West Hope, North Dakota, and Elise Hebrink, a 5'5 junior from Austin, Minnesota. Also at guard tonight will be Ashlyn Deemert, a 5'9 junior from West Fargo, North Dakota. The forwards, J.C. Richter, a 5'6 sophomore from Linton, North Dakota, and Adriana Torres, a 5'10 senior from Pelican Rapids, Minnesota. Vanessa Johnson in her 7th season with the Vikings, assisted by Taylor Henningsgaard. J.C. Richter up to 11.1 points and 5.3 rebounds per game after that stellar 31.15 rebound performance that she had against Mayville State University in a loss here a couple of weeks ago. But she's become a figure and a starter on this Viking basketball team. But missing Haley Roberts, 9.6 points. It's not just the 9.6 you have to replace with Haley Roberts being out due to illness. You also have to replace a legitimate three-point shot that has to be defended. And so we'll see if the Blue Hawks recognize that, if they adjust defensively. Dickinson State starting lineup, not quite the same as it was when we saw this team out in Dickinson, and so they're going through some flux with their personnel as well. Sam Ose versus Adriana Torres for the jump, and it will be won by Dickinson State. Labrie will bring it into the front court and run away with basketball. Labrie being picked up player to player by Ellie Broughton. Got a screen. Labrie drives to the baseline. Turns it out left wing to Catherine Fox, and a three-point shot good for Dickinson State. Catherine Fox splashes a three from the left corner. And the Vikings are down by a score of 3-0 to get started here tonight. Deemer off to the near side for Ellie Broughton. A ball hit an official but stayed in bounds. Lucky break for the Vikings. Torres, a left side baseline jumper from 17 is good. Adriana Torres with her first two. The assist to J.C. Richter. And the Vikings are back within one by a score of 3-2. Heather Labrie into the front court. Pocket picked. It's taken away by Ellie Broughton. Broughton driving, going across the paint to the basket. Richter will score in transition. The takeaway taken by Broughton, the freshman, and she comes up with a pass to finish off the fast break bucket for J.C. Richter. The Vikings score off a turnover and take their first lead tonight at 4-3. Catherine Fox at the top of the key, looking left wing. Ball picked up left side by Caden Steele. Steele a stop, a look in. Fox in the high post, got to the basket and misses off the front end. And the rebound to Ashlyn Deemer. That's one Fox will want back. That was an open layup. Vikings come away with the basketball. Bounce pass into Richter against Ose. A turn off that right block. She'll rotate it back to Deemer in the right wing. And Deemer will be given no room to shoot after her tear as of late through conference basketball. She's had a ton of points and a legitimate three-point shot lately. Dickinson State player to player. Deemer looking to get a screen. Drives left, the shot clock down to 5. Deemer all the way to the basket. Scoop layup, missed it. And the rebound comes down inside to Tinley Pearson for Dickinson State. 4-3 Vikings on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Minute and a half in. Pearson crossover hard of the basket and a foul coming up. Ashlyn Deemer trying to challenge that shot, will be called for her first personal foul. Vikings are going to be strong enough to leave her in for the moment. Early first foul here, just a minute 43 seconds in, and that is far and away your leading scoring threat right now for Valley City State. So a second for Deemer would be costly. Tinley Pearson at the line, connects in the front end. That'll tie the game at 4. Pearson stepping away from the line. Leading scorers for Dickinson State coming into the night. Sam Ose, 12.5 points per game. She's also a 6.7 rebounder. Former Miss Basketball in North Dakota. Second foul shot for Pearson is good. And the Blue Hawks will take a 5-4 advantage over Valley City State. Broughton backcourt, some pressure from the Blue Hawks. Broughton will bring it back across after a pass to Richter. Now Broughton going court wide. Deemer left wing, driving baseline. Teardrop from 7, good. Give the lead back to the Vikings. Ashlyn Deemer driving to the baseline, picking up a running jumper. The Vikings are on top by 1 at 6-5. Steele driving to the right baseline, picked up by Hebrink. She backs her way and then found Sam Ose. Ose driving on Richter, got to the basket and scores. And Richter definitely hands off intentionally there. Didn't challenge the shot. Vikings running into the front court, trying to get up in transition. They'll turn it over. Ball to Elise Hebrink, too strong from Broughton. And the Viking turnover will give the ball back to Dickinson State. 7-6 in favor of the Blue Hawks. And Dickinson State will inbound the basketball with Heather Labrie being picked up by Ellie Broughton on the top of the key. Screen set, Labrie hard take to the rack, missed it short and off the bottom of the backboard. Ellie Broughton with the basketball for the Vikings. Looks up the floor. Deemer hard take into the lane. Ball knocked out of bounds by a Blue Hawk. It'll stay Viking basketball. Well, some different wrinkles. You know, the second time around, when you see a team, you try doing a few different things, some adjustments. Dickinson State's tried some trapping on the half line here against the Vikings, who are undersized a bit at guard. Underneath, Torres catch and shoot off the inbounds pass, and Torres will score. That's her 4th. And the other adjustment for the Vikings has been to get up and down the floor as quickly as possible. And I think part of that transition is to deal with the trap. A stop on the right wing by Tinley Pearson. Out to Catherine Fox, left wing, taking into the baseline. Turn, reversal, Ose from 6 feet, spying it up and hits it. Sam Ose with 4, and it's a 9-8 lead for Dickinson State over the Vikings at the 7-minute mark of the opening quarter. Step up on top, Broughton looking top of the key. Ball fake by Deemer, drew the defender. She'll pick up the dribble and fire a shot from the foul line. It goes off the heel of the rim. The rebound tussles tied up into a held ball. The Vikings will get it, and we'll see changes by Dickinson State. Tegan Townsend will step in. Townsend, a 5'4 senior out of Collie, Wyoming. I don't believe we saw Tegan Townsend the first time around at Dickinson State. And Hannah Labrie, 5'5 senior, also from Ekalaka, Montana, the sister of Heather Labrie, identical twins. And Hannah Labrie will come onto the floor. And the Vikings, after a conversation between a pair of officials, will keep the basketball in the front court after the held ball. Dickinson State leads by 1 at 9-8. Deemer driving, take to the rack, scoop, layup. Ashlyn Deemer with 4. If you're not going to give her the 3, Deemer's going to try to find another way to score, and that's crucial for the Vikings tonight to keep their balance in check. 10-9, Vikings by 1. Hannah Labrie into the front court for the Blue Hawks, operating as the point guard. A turnover forced by Ellie Broughton on pressure defense. 2-on-2 breakaway, and a ball for Richter's knocked out of bounds by Hayden Steele, getting back defensively for Dickinson State. The ball stays up front with the Vikings. 6 minutes, 29 seconds left to go, opening quarter. And the inbounds pass will come in from Ellie Broughton. The Vikings will corner up, and it comes to Broughton, actually to Hebrink on the left side. Richter inside trying to turn around Fox. Didn't scores. She found a very narrow shooting window. Did J.C. Richter trying to get underneath Catherine Fox, who had pretty good position on the baseline defensively. But a score for J.C. Richter pushes the Viking lead to 3, and a travel coming up against Dickinson State, trying to bring the ball back to Fox. Hannah Labrie with the feet tangled up underneath her. The Vikings leading by 3, and a chance now for a multi-possession lead here in the opening quarter. Broughton takes the inbounds play from J.C. Richter, and Broughton will be picked up by Tegan Townsend, player to player. Now back off towards the right side. Hebrink's picked up by Townsend. And the Blue Hawks cheating a little bit defensively, still player to player, but a lot of cheating down towards the post. Richter driving, kicking out. Hebrink head fake out of the corner, reverses back to Richter. Another take to the baseline for Richter, and now the shot clock at 10 and a foul. Catherine Fox reaching in. Vikings will get 11 seconds back on the shot clock after the foul by Catherine Fox. First against the Blue Hawks. The Vikings will inbound. Leading scorers thus far, the Vikings with 4 each from Ashlyn Diemert, J.C. Richter, and Adriana Torres. 2 field goals apiece as well. Here's a 3 on the way by Diemert. She sticks it from the right wing. The all-time record holder for most threes in a single game. A few weeks ago, Diemert hit 8 of them to break a record of 7 that had been done 4 times by Vikings in the past. But she's the three-point shooter for the Vikings of note in the record books. And now another takeaway by Broughton, loses the ball out of bounds. But Valley City State beginning to congest what the Blue Hawks can do, handling the basketball to the front court. And Dickinson State's going to make some changes. Tinley Pearson returns, replacing Caden Steele. Catherine Fox will sit for Heather Labrie. Both Labries will be on the floor now. Please watch the numbers 21 and 22 closely. Identical twins on the floor. You don't see it very often. They both wear blue headbands as well. A back in by Tinley Pearson against Hebrink. Turn, fall away from 8 feet strong off the heel. Hebrink comes up with a rebound. And the Vikings want to run. They're being instructed to do so by Vanessa Johnson to get up the floor quickly. Ball on the right side with J.C. Richter. Back to Hebrink. No transition play was there to go to the basket. Vikings do beat pressure. Hebrink a drive to the basket. Comes up empty on a layup try. Fights for her own rebound and comes out with it on the top. She'll kick back door. Torres cutting to the basket. Steps away from pressure. Reverses back to Broughton. She wants a 3. It's on the way and short off the front of the rim. And the rebound comes down with Whitney Edwards, a 5'11 sophomore from Hill City, South Dakota. That's coming to the matchup first time for the Blue Hawks. LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard reads the Vikings 15, the Blue Hawks 9 after the 3 by Diemert a couple of moments ago. Labrie left side, this is Heather. A 3 is good for Heather Labrie. And that will cut the Viking lead down to 3 at 15-12 at the 4.5-minute mark. Diemert on the time stripe, working back towards the circle for Richter. Hebrink up the floor, back to the top. Diemert driving, foul line, pull up from 8 feet, nibbles off. Rebound Tinley Pearson for Dickinson State. Off to the left side, Tegan Townsend brings the ball up front. Heather Labrie to the right side for Hannah Labrie. A drive out of the corner, stop with that left hand. Curl back into the lane for Pearson from the left wing. She stops just inside the foul line, bounces out to Edwards on the elbow. Now Tegan Townsend right side, kick back to the right for Pearson. Shot clock at 10, Pearson from 10 hits on a fall-away baseline jumper. Turning into the fall-away baseline for Pearson, first field goal. She's got 4, 5 in a row for Dickinson State, and it's a 1-point game for the Vikings at 15-14. Torres, baseline move, ran into a defender and then lost the ball off a knee. This will go out of bounds off of Torres, and Valley City State will turn it over. J.C. Richter gets a breather. Ellie Powell will come into the post. Powell, 5'11 freshman out of Bowman, North Dakota. Ellie still learning the game. She's been better and better each night as a freshman. Her best minutes ahead as a Viking. It's going to be fun to watch her mature. They need her now, though. She'll defend Whitney Edwards in that post. Ball on the right side of the floor with Labrie. She kicks off to Tinley Pearson in the right corner. Pearson driving against Diemert. Drives her way hard in the lane. Turnaround fall away again for Pearson. That won't fall. She tries to chase down her own rebound. Then kicked out a basketball. And the officials will come together to discuss what happens there. And this is going to be Viking basketball. The ball was on the floor, and Ellie Powell was gaining control. She didn't have control yet, but she was gaining it. And Tinley Pearson clearly threw her left foot at that basketball, and it was not spotted by the official on the baseline, but the official on the near sideline had an angle and saw that. And now it's player-to-player pressure for Dickinson State. The Viking backcourt turns into a three-quarter court trap. Powell sprung the trap, and the ball comes into Powell on the baseline. She then tried to outlet. Nobody home in the wing. That'll be out of bounds off the Vikings. The Dickinson State pressure hasn't had success tonight that you can measure as far as a turnover column, but it's had success in altering the way the Vikings have played offense tonight. They've had to hurry when they've gotten to the front court. Their tempo has been a little off. Tegan Townsend up front for Dickinson State. A drive to the right, crossing over left. Heather Labrie on top. Ball fake to draw the defender into the high post. Samos is back in the game. Turn, fall against Powell. She'll hit it. Samos with 6. And the lead goes back to the Blue Hawks on a 7-0 run. They take a 16-15 advantage as Townsend and Labrie will combine to knock one away from Ellie Broughton on the near sideline. We'll see the return of Caden Steele for Dickinson State. Adriana Torres waiting near sideline to inbound the basketball for the Vikings. Under 3 to play, and it's 16-15 Blue Hawks here in the opening quarter on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. A step in, pull up by Adriana Torres. We talked about needing her in the pregame report. The Vikings need her. She's got 6, pops the lead back to 17-16 Vikings. Labrie driving in against Hebrink. Stops Sam Ose on the foul line. Powell comes out the defender. Ball works to the right side, back to Ose. Trying to back her way down. Fall away against Powell, goes in. Sam Ose finding a rhythm in the first half. She's got 8 points. She struggled to score against the Vikings the first time around, but Ose against Powell is a matchup that works for the Blue Hawks. That trip of the floor. It's back to an 18-17 Dickinson State lead. Ashlyn Deemer, top of the key to the top 4. Broughton through Torres' hands. Powell baseline jumper. That's good from 12. It's fun to watch Ellie Powell and Sam Ose. Sam Ose out of Reeder, North Dakota, played for Hettinger Scranton. Ellie Powell, a freshman that played for Bowman. Couple of opponents that are right out there in that same southwestern corner of North Dakota. They're probably well aware of each other as they get into this matchup. And this season, of course, a 3 on the way that's strong off the far side of the floor for Dickinson State's Kyrie Eldridge, who's checked in. 5'10 sophomore from Riverton, Utah. The Vikings a 1-point lead and back in the front court. Deemer down to Powell on the high-low. Powell trying to save one in bounds. Got a piece of it, but then the ball was kicked again by a Blue Hawk. Boy, that save by Powell was going to roll out of bounds in front of the Viking student section on the other side of the floor. And a Blue Hawk kicked a foot at it, got a piece, and that nets the Vikings a possession. That's a strange play after one was kicked already earlier. Now a ball out of bounds, though, off of J.C. Richter on an inbounds play, and Dickinson State will get it back. We've seen a couple of moments here where the Blue Hawks have kicked at basketballs that you just don't see basketballs kick very often. Blue Hawks up front, trailing by to the Vikings, 19-18. Heather Labrie driving left off a screen. Back to Sam Ose. Tries a jumper in the lane. That was altered by Ellie Powell reaching out to knock part of that basketball away. Loose floor, basketball won by Elise Hebrink. She'll give to J.C. Richter, and the Vikings are back on the floor leading by 1. On the right wing, it's Powell, top of the key for Hebrink to Ashlyn Deemer. Deemer taking a look as Broughton comes off the far sideline. Reverses to Hebrink in the right corner. Clock approaches 1 minute to play in the opening quarter. Underneath, Broughton finding a cut for Richter, and Richter scores. Very patient offensively for the Vikings, waiting for something to open. Great read by J.C. Richter to find the open cutting lane. Give the assist to Broughton, and it's 21-18 Vikings in the final 45 seconds of the opening quarter of basketball. Drive by Aldridge getting to the basket. That's a travel. She could not stop her pivot foot, and Valley City State gets it back. Madison Wilhelmy will quickly check into the game for the Vikings. 5'5 sophomore guard out of Beach, North Dakota. Replacing Ellie Broughton, this may be for a little bit more offense on a final possession type situation for Valley City State. Wilhelmy coming in a bit more experienced at the three-point shooting role. Wilhelmy comes off the wing, looks down low, trying to find Richter. That's knocked away. Ose can't save it. It'll stay Viking basketball. Boy, J.C. Richter at 5 feet 6 inches tall. Over from the volleyball team, had an all-conference season as the libero, helped lead the Vikings to the national tournament and to win the opening round. And now called upon to play in the post and rebound at 5 feet 6 in this league, and doing a wonderful job doing it as well. Hebrink comes to a stop and travels, and this will go back to Dickinson State. 31 points and 15 rebounds against the number 12 ranked team in the nation for J.C. Richter in her first start. She just finds a way. The basketball IQ is there. She seems to read every opening she needs to find. Blue Hawks into the front court for the final shot of the opening quarter with 15 seconds left to go. Heather Labrie is pressured by Elise Hebrink. Ose will set a screen high. It works to Labrie's left. She uses the screen. Comes back out to the top for Kylie Aldridge. Ball right side, Tinley Pearson, 4 seconds. Pearson will pull up on a jump shot and miss. Rebounds deflected. Labrie got it back up at the horn, but it will not count, and that will be the end of the opening quarter of basketball. Good opening quarter offensively for the Vikings. They lead by 3, 21-18 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard as we go to our second. It's a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
This is Dr. Ryan Lorenz, physical therapist at Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Enderlin, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Valley City. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which quickly allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. We will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
Why choose professional eye care centers? Let me count the whys. First, there are now 4 great doctors to see. Dr. Frank, Dr. Freilich, Dr. Jangula, and now welcoming Dr. Bond. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic frame selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Welcome back to Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC, from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. The Vikings leading Dickinson State by a score of 21-18 at the end of the opening quarter. Dickinson State shoots 50% from the field. The Vikings a blistering 67% from the field in that opening half. Ashlyn Deemert leads the way with 7. J.C. Richter and Adriana Torres each added 6 in the opening quarter for the Vikings. And Dickinson State with a basketball into the front court to start second quarter action. Sam Ose, high post, she'll kick to Pearson, set the seal, and a 3 comes up and it's off. Rebound battle inside, and Wilhelmy just ripping the ball free. That's a different twist from what we've seen in the past. It's out of bounds off of Wilhelmy, and it will stay Dickinson State basketball. But that ball was tied up, and 99 times out of 100, we're going to see an official blow the whistle for a held ball in that situation. And I think they're conferring to see if the ball was held here. A couple of officials will talk it over. They did not rule held basketball, but with that much time where the ball was contacted by both players, we hardly ever see that much physicality allowed in trying to rip a basketball away. Sam Ose turning right hand against Powell, misses the layup. And the rebound, Ashlyn Deemert for Valley City State. The Vikings on the run. Madison Wilhelmy into the front court. No trap sets up. Elise Hebrink on the right side will turn back to Ashlyn Deemert, top of the key. Richter ball faking left, works her way to the right elbow. Tried to kick it down low, and that was deflected. Catherine Fox got up, challenged it. Dickinson State comes away with a takeaway. Blue Hawks into the front court. Steele driving to the basket. Ball off her knee. Out of bounds and back to the Vikings. Turnover numbers in the opening quarter. Valley City State committed 5. Dickinson State committed 4. 8-4 on the rebounding edge for the Vikings, including 2 offensive rebounds in that opening half. J.C. Richter was not given credit for a rebound. We clearly saw her come up with 1. I'm not sure who was statting that first quarter of basketball. Hebrink off to the right side. Wilhelmy looking down low. Richter's open in the post. Head fake. High bank shot missed. Ellie Powell's there to clean up the miss. Ellie Powell with her 4th point of the opening half tonight, and that's a nice offensive rebound and stick back for Ellie Powell. The only mistake in that possession, Richter decided to put the ball on the floor rather than turn and go to the glass and score. And I think upon review, she would have liked to have taken that ball to the basket. Sam Ose with a game-high 8 in the lane, and the ball knocked away from her. It's taken away by the Vikings. Ashlyn Deemert comes away with possession. On the right, Wilhelmy, no-look pass down low. Richter found it, curls around Ose and kicks to the right corner. Head fake by Wilhelmy, drawing the defender, drives the basket, misses on a bank shot. The rebound is deflected out to the perimeter, and Catherine Fox will run it down for Dickinson State. The Vikings up 5 by a score of 23-18, their biggest lead so far in the opening half. Fox steps up on top, waiting for a screen. Richter screened off by Ose. Fox will drive, and Ellie Powell stopped her shot. Ball's out of bounds off of the Vikings, and it will stay Blue Hawk basketball. Ellie Broughton and Adriana Torres into the matchup. They'll replace Elise Hebrink and Madison Wilhelmy. Whitney Edwards returns for Dickinson State. Tinley Pearson will as well. And Catherine Fox will inbound. She threw it off the back of Broughton, and it ends up kicked out to Heather Fox, who will take a 3 and misses off the glass. Torres with the rebound. The Vikings again a chance to go up 3 possessions, over 2 minutes into the second quarter of play. Ball on the right side of the floor. Torres curls back to Richter on top. Deemert left corner to Broughton. Broughton takes a look in. Richter goes hard, tries to clean out against Steele. on the inside in the post. Torres handing off towards the right, able to find a drive for Ashlyn Diemert. Fall away for Diemert, hits it. Ashlyn Diemert with 9. She just continues to find a way. After her three-point shooting success as of late, teams have been defending her. Her average is 16.1 points per game, and she is getting that done because she's finding other avenues to score when the three-pointer's being taken away. Heather Labrie got an open drive, but an offensive foul coming up. They're going to see an illegal screen that was set by Catherine Fox. That's a second personal foul against Catherine Fox, and that may necessitate her leaving the game. Fox is frustrated, as is the head coach of Dickinson State, Eric Nelson, and part of the reason is that whistle came well after the screen was set, and difficult to know if it was truly an illegal screen when the whistle comes that late and you don't see what's being called in that situation. You've already moved your attention to the ball. Ball inside with Torres from the foul line. Turnaround jumper's no good, and Heather Labrie has the rebound for Dickinson State. Still 25-18 Vikings after the bucket a moment ago by Ashlyn Diemert. Pull up by Tinley Pearson in the lane that nibbles and won't fall. Torres comes down with the rebound. Vikings leading by 3 possessions here as we roll into this 4th minute of the quarter. Powell inside, kicking out. Wide open Diemert 3. Boy, she missed that one strongly. That one was over the rim and hit the glass, and Ashlyn maybe rushed that shot a bit. Ball up the floor, deflected. Tinley Pearson's able to come away with it after Adriana Torres got back defensively for the Vikings and got a hand up. 6.5 to play until the break. Tinley Pearson on the right side of the floor. Torres giving her a right hand. Crossover back to the left. Pearson's picked up in the lane. Kicked it back to Tegan Townsend. Right side, Whitney Edwards. Mid-range jumper that's missed. And a rebound aggressively in the air for Adriana Torres for Valley City State. The Vikings up 7 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. 25-18 in favor of Valley City State. Diemert, hard take against Townsend. To the basket, hits it again. That's a mismatch. Mismatch. The Vikings will appreciate all night. And Diemert now has 11 points with a hard take against Tegan Townsend in the lane. Lead is 9 for the Vikings at 27-18. Just over the 4 minutes gone mark, just under 6 minutes to play in this second quarter. A drive by Townsend to the post. She'll kick out to Tinley Pearson. Head fake drive to the basket. It's good off the glass for Tinley Pearson. One thing we saw from the Blue Hawks when we were in Dickinson, their three-point shooting game is something they don't even respect as Diemert loses a basketball out of bounds. We saw a number of opportunities for the Blue Hawks to take threes against the Vikings out in Dickinson in their home gym, and they passed up on them. And we've seen that here again tonight where other teams that have three-point threats would have taken shots against the Vikings not closing out, but the Blue Hawks have tried to go to the basket instead of the three-point shot, even when left open. Townsend will take a handoff from Edwards after the turnover by the Vikings. Steele on the right side, looking back to Hannah Labrie. A stop to Heather Labrie on the left wing, into Whitney Edwards. A turn against Torres, count at 1. Whitney Edwards getting some body contact, scoring against Adriana Torres, and Torres has her first foul tonight. The first points of the night for Whitney Edwards, and the Viking lead is cut to 5. Edwards will go to the foul line looking for the bonus to try to complete the three-point play. Only one Blue Hawk is there for the rebound. I don't know if that's mental or if that's just we're not going to try to rebound, but they only left Tegan Townsend along the lane. The Vikings had 3 players that were just able to go up and get an uncontested rebound had the foul shot been missed, but it's good. A 3 on the right side by Diemert from the corner. That's off the heel. Rebound trickles to the perimeter, and it's run down offensively by J.C. Richter. Into the post for Hebrink and back out to Ellie Broughton. Diemert on the top of the key, ball knocked loose, and will be taken back by Caden Steele for Dickinson State. Another turnover by the Vikings. Labrie driving baseline, looks down to the post. Ellie Broughton got in to contest a basketball. She picked up possession, and the Vikings will call for timeout. So the Vikings call a 30 to save the possession. 27-23 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard in favor of the Vikings. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking basketball.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on Viking basketball.
This is 1490 KOVC AM Valley City and 96.3 K242CZ Valley City.
The voice of the
Valley.
Ryan Cunningham with you tonight from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Viking basketball with a 4-point lead on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, 27-23. Elise Hebrink kicking a ball out for the Vikings into the front court. Ball with J.C. Richter in the right elbow. Richter a stop and a turn. We'll turn it back to Hebrink on the top of the key. Shot clock at 10 seconds. Richter, a jab step to her left, drives hard with the right hand. Got to the basket, missed, but Powell picks it up. Count it one for the freshman out of Bowman, North Dakota. Couple of big offensive rebounds in this quarter, and Ellie Powell sticks them both back. She's got 6, and a foul will go against Tegan Townsend. That'll be her first and the third against Dickinson State. So Powell pushes the lead back to 6 for the Vikings, and now a foul shot to try to complete the three-point play, and it rolls around but won't fall. Heather Labrie comes up with a rebound. Lead remains 6 as the Blue Hawks come back into the front court. Labrie a stop, kick out, Caden Steele, left corner 3, that's good. Caden Steele, third three-point shot to go down for the Blue Hawks here in the opening half, and the Viking lead trimmed to 3 at 29-26, back to a one-possession game after the Vikings sported a 7-point lead not that long ago. Powell out to the top of the key. Hebrink skying high to come down with the basketball. Richter looking right side, found Broughton in the corner. Broughton a long look. Torres comes back to the top of the key to handle. Torres a head fake, drew a defender, stops foul line, pull-up jumper short. Another board for Ellie Powell. She kicks it out to the wing for Hebrink on top. Broughton to Torres on the right mid-range. She'll step into the lane, kicks back to Hebrink. Head fake for Hebrink, cutting across the grain back to the right. Back to Torres, who comes back left. Hard take to the basket that's missed, and Sam Ose will come up with a rebound for Dickinson State. Lead is 3 for the Vikings at 29-26. Blue Hawks back up front. Townsend a stop, a look in at Sam Ose. Kick out to Heather Labrie in the right corner. Jabbing left, back to Ose against Powell inside. Ose a stop, kick out. Townsend will take a 3. That's good, and the game is tied. Tegan Townsend with a 3-point shot. The Blue Hawks letting go of a few more threes now, and a 7-point lead for the Vikings erased. We're tied at 29 and a foul coming up. Townsend may pick it up with hands-on Ellie Broughton on a drive. Townsend second, and we'll see a couple of changes for the Blue Hawks. Hannah Labrie out, Heather Labrie out, and back into the game will be Tinley Pearson and also Kyrie Aldridge. And now a late send to the table. Dylan Steadily, a 5'7 freshman from Belle-Fourche, South Dakota, will come on to replace Townsend after Townsend picked up that second foul. We were kind of waiting to see if Townsend will be replaced after that second. 3 minutes to go in the opening half. We're tied at 29. On top, it's Torres, Richter, now Broughton on the left corner. Broughton takes a look with Torres coming back towards the right post. Ball will swing back out to Ellie Powell on the top of the key. Back to Broughton, getting a screen, moving left, driving in. Back to Powell, dribble, drive, and draw, but Powell missed the shot. The Vikings got the play they were looking for, but Powell left it short. Good dribble, drive, and draw by Broughton. Still tied at 29. Blue Hawks into the front court. Foul line jumper. Sam Ose gives the lead back to Dickinson State. That's a double-figure night for Sam Ose, the former Miss Basketball. 31-29, Blue Hawks by 2, and a kicked basketball by Dickinson State will keep the ball with the Vikings. So the Vikings led 27-20. This represents an 11-2 run for Dickinson State to take a 31-29 advantage with 2 minutes 18 seconds to play in this first half of basketball. Step left for J.C. Richter, and a hard take to the basket will net a foul. And we'll see how the adventure for J.C. Richter will go from the foul line tonight, and she won't mind if we say it that way. J.C.'s been hard on herself for her performance from the foul line throughout the course of the season. That's the 4th foul on Dickinson State. The Vikings earned the penalty the rest of the way. The first for Richter, hard off the heel of the rim, up in the air, and then back through. J.C. Richter will get a shooter's roll. 7 points for Richter. It cuts the lead back to 1 for Dickinson State. And now Richter attempting to tie the game. That one's nothing but net. J.C. Richter knocks down 2 of 2. Good start for Richter from the foul line tonight. She's got 8. We're even at 31 with 2 minutes to go in the opening half on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Tinley Pearson curling from left to right for Dickinson State. A touch of the basketball, knocks it free out to the top of the key. Bounce past Sam Olst in the right block. Hard take against Powell to the basket. Good. Sam Olst got Ellie Powell on her left side. Put the hip into her and knocked her out of the way. And that's a veteran move for the senior, actually junior rather. A take to the basket for Ashlyn Deemer. Her pull up on the baseline's out of bounds. And the ball's going back to Dickinson State. Sam Olst, a junior, Miss Basketball, represented Hettinger Scranton. A Miss Basketball vote by the Sports Writers and Sportscasters Association that was really split and had a few little political wrinkles into it from those voters out in the western part of the state. after Riley Wacha, Fargo Davies, and Mackenzie Hughes, who plays up at Mayville State, did not get support that they needed to win the award. And they've gone on to really, really solid careers. A drive inside for Tinley Pearson. Pearson tries to backdoor one to Catherine Fox. That's out of bounds. It'll go back to the Vikings. Sam Ost won the award, started at Black Hill State, transfers back to Dickinson State. My vote back then went for Riley Wacha. I feel like when you play against Class A talent and have the same numbers, you kind of deserve it. A drive and a pull-up jumper for Ashlyn Diemert on the baseline from 17. Diemert will score, and that will give her 13. First scoring in a while for Ashlyn Diemert. It ties the game. We're even up at 33. A minute left to play in the opening half of basketball. On the top of the key, it's Steadily for Dickinson State. Steadily looking back out towards the top, finding Caden Steele. Steele driving right, found an alley. Hard take to the basket, got around Rosie Anderson, who's checked in for the Vikings. And to the basket, Caden Steele will score in some penetration to give the lead back to Dickinson State. It is now a 35-33 lead for the Blue Hawks. A drive to the foul line. Diemert looking down to Anderson, finishing with the left hand. Rosie Anderson. Anderson, a freshman out of Moorhead, Minnesota, comes up with a big high-low play and finishes underneath to tie the game at 35. There is a 3.5-second differential between game clock and shot clock as the Blue Hawks bring it up front. Back off to the top for Dylan Steadily for Dickinson State. Foul coming up. As we'll see Ellie Broughton with a reach in for her first. Unfortunate part of that now for the Vikings, however, is that shot clock resets to 20, which means it won't run at all with the game clock down to 18.7. Elise Hebrink's going to come back into the game after Madison Wilhelmy comes on to replace Broughton. Hebrink will come in to replace Diemert. And the Blue Hawks will inbound with 18.7 seconds left to try to reclaim the lead before we go to the locker room. Labrie out by the time stripe. Wilhelmy giving her a left hand. Labrie starts that way, crosses over, gets a screen from Ost on her left hand, drives that way, turns it back to Steele. Inside for Ost, she got around Anderson but misses off the glass. Rebound comes down to Elise Hebrink. 2 seconds, Hebrink to Wilhelmy. Wilhelmy gets one off from the stripe, it's well short, and nothing decided in the opening half of basketball. The Vikings led by 3 after 1, we're tied after 2. On our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, after a half of play here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse, your score, the Vikings 35 and the Blue Hawks 35. And our halftime report is next, and it's brought to you by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good. See Rambo for all of your promotional products, fine supporters of Viking athletics. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Lever's Foods, best quality, best price. Lever's Foods, best service, they're nice. Lever's Foods, they make everything right. Lever's Foods.
All this week at Lever's Foods in Valley City, save on Tombstone original pizzas, 2 for $7.88. Fresh oranges, 99 cents a pound. Boneless pork loin chops, just $2.99 a pound. General Mills cereals, 2 for $6.88. And sweet yellow onions, only 99 cents a pound. Delivery is available by calling 845-1732. Lever's Foods, Valley City.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care. Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
Hi, I'm Corey Anderson, a proud Viking graduate and executive director for University Advancement at VCSU. I'm thankful to live and work in a community that values our amazing university and cherishes education as a blessing and a gift. There are few gifts as important as those that help students fulfill their educational goals. Your scholarship contributions do just that. Help keep us moving forward by supporting the V500 scholarship program today. A gift for a student is a gift for our community. To find easy ways to give, visit give.vcsu.edu.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
Welcome back to Viking basketball tonight on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC, from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse here in Valley City. I love it when we get some halftime entertainment from the Just for Kicks dance group here in Valley City. This is a group that my daughter was in and really enjoyed, and these coaches do a heck of a good time and a heck of a good job. And the other part about it, though, is that we got the youngsters on the floor tonight. These girls look like they might be, 4, 5, 6 years old, something like that. And the crowd just always has a ton of smiles when they see these little girls that learn these routines. I got to tell you, when I've watched this happen before with my own daughter, whether it's through dance or cheer, I don't know how they get girls this young to remember their routines and learn the things they do, but they work awfully hard, and they do a wonderful job, and we have a little halftime entertainment going on tonight. This will be the Just for Kicks minis that are coming out, so these are usually like the 7, 8, 9-year-olds that are going to come out here, and they do a wonderful job. They work really hard, and we're glad to have you along with us here tonight for Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC. Must-win situations tonight for the Viking men and women. Probably not mathematically must-win situations, but as far as the projection is concerned, if you will, a must-win situation for both if they'd like a home game in the upcoming North Star Athletic Association tournament. And right now, the Vikings find themselves in a tie matchup in women's play with Dickinson State by a score of 35-35. An interesting first half of play. The Vikings built up a 7-point lead in that first half of basketball. Dickinson State responded with an 11-2 run to take a 31-29 advantage. A couple of big three-point shots from Caden Steele and Townsend ended up powering that. The Vikings missing Haley Roberts here tonight, and they look for a little bit of a scoring stretch somewhere else, but only one three-point shot in the opening half, perhaps feeling that absence for Valley City State. The Vikings were led by Ashlyn Deemert, 13 points in the opening half. She hit the lone three for the Vikings and had 6 field goals in 12 attempts. J.C. Richter, 8 points and a rebound for the Vikings to keep the scoring moving. 6 points, 3 boards for Adriana Torres. 6 points and 5 rebounds for Ellie Powell. 3 of those were offensive, and when you're missing a Haley Roberts and you're looking for a little scoring strike, finding a freshman like Ellie Powell to come in who's still kind of learning on the job, if you will, and finding her way to a couple of big plays that way. And another was freshman Rosie Anderson, who finished a nice high-low play down the stretch to tie the game for Valley City State. One more number to bring up, and I don't know how this keeps happening, but Elise Hebrink, a 5'5 junior out of Austin, Minnesota, finishes the opening half, co-leading the Vikings in rebounds, and it's a co-game high. 5 rebounds for Elise Hebrink. And, you know, I was talking with Vanessa Johnson about that before the game, how Elise Hebrink just continues to pull down rebounding games of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boards. I think she had 9 rebounds against Waldorf back on Saturday, and she described Elise Hebrink as Dennis Rodman-like. She just said that's the way it is. She reads the ball well. She reads a missed shot that's coming up. She kind of knows where to be, and it always puts her in great position to come up with a rebound, and she continued that in the opening half. For Dickinson State, Sam O, 6 of 9 from the field, 12 points in the first half to lead the way for the Blue Hawks. Tinley Pearson with 6. Caden Steele had 5. And Catherine Fox, Tegan Townsend, and Whitney Edwards all added 3 in the opening half of basketball for the Blue Hawks. Vikings turned it over 8 times. The Blue Hawks turned it over 9. The Vikings out-rebound Dickinson State 17-12 as far as the glass was concerned. 6-2 on the offensive glass. Shooting numbers, the Vikings were 51.6%. The Blue Hawks 51.9%. Really not a lot of differences, and you would expect that in a tie ball game. So the number is just about even, and the game is even, at least at this point, even at 55 apiece between the Vikings and Dickinson State after a half of play. And that is a look at our halftime numbers. In our halftime report was just presented by Rambo. we're in the business of making you look good. Rambo has your promotional items and promotional apparel handled. They know that you need to promote your team. They know that you need to promote your business, and Rambo is here to help. When it's time for you to get promotional products, you want Rambo. They're proud supporters of Viking Athletics, so stop and see Rambo. Find out more about what you can do. Rambo, getting those promotional products to you. We're in the business of making you look good, and they bring you our halftime report tonight. We'll talk about some details coming up for games to come, including the Highlanders back on the air tomorrow night and the Vikings on Friday night up in enemy territory. Stay with us. This is Viking basketball on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Lockout Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue at 701-845-6938 or James M. Lockout at CPA 701-845-1660. Services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, and securities offered through Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer and member FINRA and SIPC.
Every body is different. Some experience injuries, while others need extra support.
I'll help you, Grandma.
At Jamestown Regional Medical Center, your health is what matters most. Our orthopedics and sports medicine team care for you and your unique needs. Their goal is to help you live your best life. Choose Jamestown Regional Medical Center for care of hips, shoulders, knees, and broken bones. Learn more at jrmcnd.com/orthopedics.
Ivy Real Estate Group, your locally owned real estate brokerage, is cheering for the home team. Listen to KOVC for the Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game following every Valley City Highliner and VCSU Vikings game.
Why choose professional eye care centers? Let me count the whys. First, there are now 4 great doctors to see. Dr. Frank, Dr. Freilich, Dr. Jangela, and now welcoming Dr. Bond. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic frame selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
Lever's Foods, best quality, best price. Lever's Foods, best service, they're nice. Lever's Foods, they make everything right. Lever's Foods.
All this week at Lever's Foods in Valley City, save on Tombstone original pizzas, 2 for $7.88. Fresh oranges, 99 cents a pound. Boneless pork loin chops, just $2.99 a pound. General Mills cereals, 2 for $6.88. And sweet yellow onions, only 99 cents a pound. Delivery is available by calling 845-1732. Lever's Foods, Valley City.
Report brought to you tonight by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good. Rambo, your home for all of your promotional products. Whether you need products or apparel, they have you covered at Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good. Tie game, 35 apiece at the end of the opening half of basketball tonight. In our Viking women's matchup between the Vikings and Dickinson State, the Viking men set to follow. And for Valley City State, a lot of the same circumstances here, only chasing rather than maintaining. The Vikings are coming to the night 2-4 inside North Star Athletic Association play. That's going to put them a game behind these Blue Hawks for that number 4 spot. And that 4 spot's critical, trying to get a home game in the opening round of the North Star Athletic Association tournament. Dickinson State won the previous game when the Vikings had an unfortunate situation. Cleveland Bedgood, who's the reigning North Star Athletic Association Player of the Week, picks up his 4th foul with about 5 minutes to go, and the Vikings didn't recognize it right away. They were late sending a sub over to the Blue Hawks substitution table, didn't get him in, and Cleveland Bedgood on the very next play picked up a rebound foul, and that put him out of the game. And a Viking lead sort of slowly but surely ebbed away. Dickinson State forced overtime, won the game by a score of 80-74. So the Vikings looking for a bit of revenge tonight against the Blue Hawks on their home floor. That's next. And tomorrow night, It'll be the Vikings on the road, the Highlanders on the road in Lisbon. That'll be a renewal of a rivalry that will last for a while. Both teams Class A, both teams in the Southeast region. The Highlanders in Lisbon coming up tomorrow night on KOVC. Back in high school basketball, we'll see you in Mayville for college basketball for the Vikings and Mayville State on Friday. 35 all between the Vikings and Dickinson State. Second half basketball is next on the Voice of the
Hi,
Vikings.
this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
This is Dr. Ryan Lorenz, physical therapist at Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Enderlin, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Valley City. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which quickly allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. We will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
This is Hannah Whelan at Valley City State University. The V500 scholarship members' generosity and commitment is exactly the kind of community involvement we need to keep VCSU going strong. The many scholarships provided are a testament to the support of the alumni, family, and friends of VCSU. Please keep expanding the opportunities available to enhance the lives of the next generation and make a difference for attracting future Vikings by supporting scholarships online at give.vcsu.edu or by calling the VCSU Foundation.
Well, a couple of technical difficulties here. We apologize for that, kind of abruptly getting back into our second half. But nonetheless, we're back and ready to go. Tied at 35 between the Vikings and the Blue Hawks here on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. The Vikings will have the basketball to start the second half of play in a tie matchup with Dickinson State here in women's basketball by a score of 35-35. The men's game to follow. A ball down to Adriana Torres and a high-low look from Diemert on the wing is knocked out of bounds. It will stay Viking basketball. The Vikings will quickly huddle before they inbound. So the Vikings looking to crack a 35-35 tie to start the second half of basketball. Diemert driving to the foul line and then tripped on the way through. Kicks it back to Torres on the left wing. Adriana Torres trying to go baseline. Back out top of the key for Powell. Correction, not Powell, but rather Broughton. Shot clock at 10 seconds. A drive by Richter against Catherine Fox, and we've got a foul coming up. They're going to get Catherine Fox for her third. Boy, it didn't look like Catherine Fox did a whole lot wrong in that sequence, and Vikings will get a fresh 20. Inbounds pass comes into the right side for Elise Hebrink, and now we've got a whistle on the post. Are they going to get Fox again? Catherine Fox is frustrated, and if I were, and again, keep in mind that, you know, obviously I'm pro-Viking, but if I were Catherine Fox, I would be unhappy with both those calls. The Vikings with the basketball. Hebrink looking to the right side, finding Ashlyn Diemert. Diemert to stop. Driving left hand, got into the lane. Hard take inside. Turn, fall away for Diemert left short. And the ball to Sam Ose ends up through her hands and out of bounds. And this will go back to Valley City State. Inbounds play will come in. I'm sorry, folks. I'm troubled by that sequence with Catherine Fox a couple of moments ago. Inbounds pass will come in from Ellie Broughton. Broughton looking back off towards the right side. Diemert reversing off top of the key. Taken by Adriana Torres. Torres working right, trying to back her way in on Ose. Turn, head fake, fall away off the glass, left it short. And the rebound to Sam Ose for Dickinson State. Heather Labrie will bring it into the front court, finding Hannah Labrie, who gets the start in the second half for the Blue Hawks. Hard take for Sam Oss, got to the basket, it scores. Sam Oss now with a 14-point game. She had 12 at the break, and the Vikings are down 2 by a score of 35-37. Elise Hebrink to the near side. Diemert, pull up in the lane, will score. Ashlyn Diemert now with 15 points. Diemert having another nice game, and again, having that three-point shot taken away from her, she's having to find other ways to score, and she's doing it dribble penetration, hitting some tough shots off of the dribble, which is tough to do. Sam Ost in the high post, back cut for Caden Steele. Steele gets the basket and scores on the baseline cut. 7 points for Caden Steele. Blue Hawks back up 2 by a score of 39-37. Right side, it's a long two by Torres. No good. Rebound put back. There's Ellie Broughton stepping in with an offensive board and stick back. Ellie Broughton with her first 2 points tonight. They're going to want her to take more shots. Ellie Broughton can score from the perimeter. Her job is to be the point guard. Tied at 39. 2 minutes into the third quarter on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. A left side feed to Hannah Labrie. Labrie stepping back right, coming left, kicking left corner. Heather Labrie on the way for a three that's strong. Rebound goes loose to the right side. Caden Steele picks it up offensively. Out to the top, Labrie for three is off the heel of the rim. And boy, Sam Oss all over the back of J.C. Richter and allowed to pull down a rebound and score. And an incredulous Vanessa Johnson looks on as that was a good block out. A pull up by Diemert in the lane will score her 17th to tie the game. That was a good block out inside for J.C. Richter, and Sam Oss clearly had some contact on Richter's back in that situation. A drive by Labrie to the right baseline. Labrie taking a look, kicking it back out to the right for Heather Labrie. Heather Labrie coming back left, hands off, crossover by Caden Steele, spin and got away from Torres, goes to the basket and scores. Caden Steele, Torres just picked the wrong direction. Steele with an aggressive spin back to her right hand. Lead back to the Blue Hawks, and now a takeaway. Caden Steele picks the pocket of Ellie Broughton. Steele into the front court, driving left hand. A stop on the block into Sam Oss. Kick out. Three on the way by Hannah Labrie is off the heel of the rim. Rebound comes strong to the perimeter. Sam Oss was able to reach out and rip it away from Ellie Broughton, and the Blue Hawks go back to work with an offensive rebound. Ball on the right side of the floor. Heather Labrie, couple of crossovers, moving down the right sideline. The foul coming up against the Vikings. Foul's going to go against Ellie Broughton. That will be her second personal foul. And the Vikings were set to replace her anyway. Madison Wilhelmy will come into the matchup. Ellie Powell will enter as well. Powell's going to come on for Adriana Torres. And obviously Wilhelmy comes in for Broughton, who just picked up that second foul. 43-41 Blue Hawks, 6:38 to play in the third quarter on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Dickinson State with a basketball. Heather Labrie circling back out towards the top of the key. Working right side, found Caden Steele. Post entry knocked away by Diemert. Races on for the basketball. It's pulled away by Steele. They go into Whitney Edwards, who's checked in. Back to Heather Labrie, and now a whistle, and what have we got here? An official's timeout as Tinley Pearson comes up injured for the Blue Hawks. And Pearson looks shaken up. Tegan Townsend will come in to replace her. Did not see the contact with Tinley Pearson, but it looked like she was bugged and a little numb in a limb. It looks like it's her right hand that she's trying to shake off there. Ball left corner for Caden Steele. 5 on the shot clock. Steele a three that hit the side of the backboard. Another rebound for Elise Hebrink. Kick up the floor, and Diemert trying to transition too strongly for J.C. Richter, and the ball ends up out of bounds. And the Vikings struggling. 6 in the second quarter, or rather third quarter for Valley City State, but the Vikings a little out of sync offensively. They're down 2, 43-41 to Dickinson State. Blue Hawks back into the front court. Labrie moving left, a drive to the foul line, looks to kick it down low for Edwards. She got loose but misses a layup inside. Madison Wilhelmy comes away with the basketball for Valley City State in the rebound. Wilhelmy working right side. Hebrink comes out to take it on the wing, back to Wilhelmy, who will call out the play. Blue Hawks look to be dropping into some zone. It doesn't look like zone, and it looks like they're just kind of cheating again, player to player. Diemert stepping in, spin move of the lane, fall away with the left hand that's missed, and Diemert doing what she can to try to create a shot. Caden Steele comes away with a rebound for Dickinson State. Looks into Whitney Edwards, backing in on Powell. Turn, double pivot, comes back to her right hand. Scores. She got around Ellie Powell. Whitney Edwards with 5, and the lead for the Blue Hawks is up to 4 at 45-41. Richter, hard take to the glass in transition. J.C. Richter scores her 10th. Another double-figure night for J.C. Richter. The Vikings back within 2 at 45-43. Heather Labrie stepping right. Caden Steele right wing. A head fake to draw a defender. Back to Heather Labrie in the right corner. LeBrie moving her way back out towards the top of the key. Steps out towards the circle. Looking to message a play out to the rest of the team. Cuts left, got a screen from Edwards, drives left block, turns and looks to reverse. Edwards takes it foul line, drives in on Richter and scores. Whitney Edwards now with 7. And the Blue Hawks are back up 4 at 47-43 halfway point of the second quarter on the LaRue Lago Financial scoreboard. A drive on the near side by Elise Hebrink, stumbled, and a timeout is taken by Valley City State. Vikings will call for timeout with 4:39 left to go here in the third quarter. It's a 30-second timeout on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. The Blue Hawks 47, the Vikings 43. Mobility Plus rehabilitation timeout. Back with more on Viking basketball.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
30-second timeout for the Vikings. The Vikings trailing Dickinson State by a score of 47-43 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Vikings with 19 to shoot. Elise Hebrink cutting back to the basket after feinting out to the wing to take the inbounds pass. Hebrink scores on the lay-in. The Vikings are back within 2 at 47-45. Townsend coming near side. Caden Steele left corner. LeBrie on the way for 3. That's strong. Another offensive rebound, though, for Dickinson State. They've returned Kyrie Aldridge to the game, and Aldridge will lose the basketball as Hebrink reaches in and picks her pocket. J.C. Richter in the lane, driving against LeBrie, looks down low to Ellie Powell in the post. Powell back out on top. Wilhelmy spots up a 3 and hits it. Big 3 for Madison Wilhelmy. The Vikings looking for that three-point threat with Haley Roberts out of the game due to illness, and that's a 3 that gives the Vikings the lead back at 48-47. While we see on the Blue Hawks sideline, Tinley Pearson trying to shake off a leg thing. She was shaking out an arm earlier. Now it's a leg thing trying to get herself back in the game. Tegan Townsend on the near side of the floor. Reverses to LeBrie on the right. A stop and a head fake. Back to Aldridge on top for Dickinson State. Shot clock all the way down to 5. Caden Steele taking a look in. Edwards 2-1. Pops a jump shot. Missed it. And that apparently did not hit iron. It came up short off the far side of the glass. It was at that angle as we take a look at it, far side of the rim, where it was tough to see if that hit iron or not. The officials rule it did not. So a shot clock violation against Dickinson State, and the Vikings will get the basketball back with 3.5 minutes to play here in the third, and a 1-point Viking lead at 48-47. Ball right side of the floor, picked up on top for Elise Hebrink. She'll look into Torres, now in the post against LeBrie. Jump stop, Torres, left-hand finish. Big play for Adriana Torres, jump stopping with a cut to her left and finishing with the left hand. And the Vikings are back up 3 at 50-47. Torres with 8 on the night. Hannah LeBrie on the top of the key, working right, looking for a screen, didn't get one. Finds Townsend on the wing. Townsend will kick out to the top of the key. Steadily on the way for 3, in and out, won't fall. And Ellie Powell clears the board for the Vikings. Chance for a 2-possession lead now for Valley City State. Ball on the right side of the floor, brought up by Ashlyn Diemert. Wilhelmy working her way back out towards the circle, goes between the legs of the basketball and walks right. Bounce pass in towards the right side. Hebrink looking high-low. Torres again on the post, this time turning again steadily, kicks to Powell from 17. Jump shots off, and the rebound comes down to Tegan Townsend for Dickinson State. Townsend pushing tempo. Near side of the floor, Dylan steadily. Got down to the baseline, being hounded by Wilhelmy. A stop and reversal back to Townsend. Into Edwards, ripped away. Ellie Powell forces a turnover, then kicked it to the perimeter, and nobody home on too quick of a fast break. The Blue Hawks get it back, and a steal by Caden Steele. A steal by Steele. Townsend a stop, goes into the left elbow for LeBrie. Kick back to Caden Steele. She'll pull the trigger for 3, and it's off the heel of the rim. Rebound bounced loose, and this time it'll be cleared by Ashlyn Diemert for Valley City State. Final 2 minutes of the third quarter on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. 50-47, Valley City State by 3. Ball the right side of the floor. Hebrink looking into Torres. Pass is off. It's out of bounds. No one got a piece, and this is going back to the Blue Hawks. Rosie Anderson returns for the Vikings. Sam Ose returns for Dickinson State. And we'll see another returner. Tinley Pearson does get back into the game for the Blue Hawks. And the Blue Hawks will bring it into the front court. Ball left side of the floor, picked up by Heather LeBrie. Crossover dribble towards the top of the key. A step up on top for, I believe, Steadily. And a post-entry pass to Sam Ose will net a foul from Rosie Anderson. Anderson with her first. It's the second against the Vikings here in the third quarter. Neither team really in danger of reaching the penalty. Each team with only 2 fouls here in the third. Inbounds pass out to Heather Labrie. Puts a move on Wilhelmy. Another post entry, another foul. And just as I said, that neither team's in danger of reaching the penalty, the Vikings will draw a foul against Ashlyn Deemer. That'll be their third, so now the Vikings just have one left to give. That will teach me to look too far ahead in the game. Inbounds pass will come in. Hannah Labrie underneath Heather Labrie, and there's another foul. Elise Hebrink, no. It's going to be Wilhelmy that picks that one up. Madison Wilhelmy with her first. I'm sorry, folks. I'm the jinx. The Vikings went from 1 foul to 4 in about 7 seconds of game time, maybe less. And so now the penalty is enjoyed by the Blue Hawks for 1:34 of this third quarter of basketball. Labrie knocks down the front end. Heather Labrie with 4. Lead trimmed to 2 at 50-48. Blue Hawks, or rather Vikings, with that 1:34 left to go. And the second foul shot for Labrie is on the way and good, and the lead is now trimmed to 1. Heather Labrie with 5, and it's 50-49. Valley City State with a 1-point lead over Dickinson State. 1.5 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Ball left side, Rosie Anderson on the high post, left elbow, hands off and sets a screen for Elise Hebrink. Ball to the right side of the floor now. A couple of jab steps for Ashlyn Deemert. Off the dribble from the top of the key, missing. Rebound springs out to the perimeter. Heather Labrie has it. The Blue Hawks go looking to reclaim the lead. Ball on the right side of the floor with Tinley Pearson. Pearson looks to have shaken off the effects of that injury. Rosie Anderson comes out to confront Sam Ose. Ose backing in, draws a double team on a double down. Kicks back to Pearson, who cuts into the lane. A stop, double pivot, back to her left hand. That's a walk, and it was caught right away. Pearson took the extra step. So the Vikings respond to Sam Ose with a double down. Sam Ose with 16 points tonight. Rosie Anderson, and then we saw Adriana Torres come in as the help side defender to cut off that lane for Sam Ose. Clock to 45 seconds left here in the third. Ball to the top of the key for Torres, stepping left, pulls up on the jump shot and misses. Rebound swings out to the perimeter again. Picked up by Hannah Labrie, who will force to Heather Labrie. Heather Labrie has a shot block that's out of bounds and stays with Dickinson State. 8.2 second differential here, so the Vikings can get one more possession before the end of the third. J.C. Richter will come into the matchup and replace Ashlyn Deemert. That'll keep Deemert with just 2 fouls going into the fourth quarter. And the inbounds play will come in from Heather Labrie. 50-49, the Vikings by 1. 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Blue Hawks the basketball and 20 to shoot with the game clock at 27.5. A step to the right side for Heather Labrie, stop on the right elbow. A look out towards the top, finding Hannah Labrie. Labrie driving hard, left hand down to the block. In some trouble down there, cut off by Hebrink, tries to bank one in. Missed it with 6 to shoot. Hebrink comes away with a rebound. She's going to be in double figures in rebounding by the time the night's over. Richter on top, 6 seconds to play here in the third. Richter a stop and a look, backdoor cut. Wilhelmy hit hard and will go to the foul line. Heather Labrie coming in hard on the defensive side, trying to deny Wilhelmy, who got the ball underneath the basket, and Labrie will pick up the foul. Wilhelmy will go to the foul line, trying to build on a Vikings single-point lead with 9/10 of a second left to go in the third quarter. Wilhelmy on the night has a bucket, I believe just one. It was a 3-point shot here in the third quarter. That's just the second three-pointer to find its way in for the Vikings tonight. Wilhelmy at the line, first foul shot is strong off the heel of the rim and no good. Boy, this is something that'll be watched closely by Vanessa Johnson. Her team shot 15 of 28 from the foul line down in Madison, or rather in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Second one's good. That'll give the Vikings a 51-49 lead, but the Vikings felt like their foul shooting was the reason why they lost that game in overtime to Viterbo back on Friday night. 15 of 28 from the foul line won't get it done. Here the Vikings lead by 2 going into the fourth. The Vikings, after 3 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, lead 51-49 over Dickinson State. Our fourth quarter is up after a Mobility Plus rehabilitation timeout. This is Viking basketball, the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Rambo, a proud sponsor and fan of Viking Athletics, has been serving North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota with quality logoed apparel and promotional products since 1979. With online store options built to meet the needs of your company, organization, or team, Rambo will ensure that the process of ordering is easy and accurate and that your items are received on time. When you're ready to put your logo to work, give Matt a call at 701-680-9585. Rambo, we're in the business of making you look good.
Rural healthcare faces many challenges to provide quality and affordable care, and CHMRC Health of Valley City is no exception. They pride themselves on providing quality healthcare close to home and hope that on Giving Hearts Day, Thursday, February 8th, you'll share your giving heart with them. The goal is to raise $3,000 to be used to fund their new cardiac monitoring system. Share your giving heart today. Donations can be made by clicking on their ad on newsdakota.com or by check. Simply note in the memo Giving Hearts Day and drop your checks off at the front desk of CHMRC Health of Valley City.
We start the fourth quarter with Valley City State leading 51-49 over Dickinson State at women's basketball. 2-point edge for the Viking women, and a must-have tonight here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Tinley Pearson near side of the floor loses the ball out of bounds. Going back to the Vikings. Again, this is must-have for Valley City State. Three-way tie for third in the North Star Athletic Association. The Vikings tied 3-3 in their overall record with Viterbo and Bellevue. And in this situation, Valley City State, if they were to lose, would put themselves on the back end of what could be a three-way tie and potentially lose home court advantage opening round. A turn by Rosie Anderson, ball out of bounds, blocked by Sam Ose. It'll stay Viking basketball. Individual numbers, 17 for Ashlyn Diemert leading the way through three quarters. For the Vikings, J.C. Richter with 10, and Diemert's 17 is a game high. 16 for Sam Ose leads Dickinson State. Richter top of the key, working right. Hard take to the baseline against Labrie. Turns, looks, double pivot off the glass, left it short, and Labrie comes up with a rebound for Dickinson State. 9 points for Caden Steele. She had a nice second and third quarter combination. Steele with the basketball for the Blue Hawks, tries to kick down to Ose. Ball's out of bounds off of Dickinson State, and it will go back to the Vikings. And 7 for Whitney Edwards for Dickinson State. J.C. Richter with 10. Numbers through 3. Dickinson State shot the ball 46.5%. The Vikings 51.1%. 13 turnovers for Dickinson State, 11 for the Vikings. We're even on the rebounding advantage at 23 apiece, and each team with 7 offensive boards as well. Crossover dribble by Torres driving on Ose, got cut off on the high elbow, right side of the lane. Shot clock at 10 seconds. She worked it back to Richter. Into Anderson trying to back her way down against Labrie. Anderson turning to the left hand. Count it for the freshman out of Moorhead, Minnesota. And she'll get an and one as she gets inside against Hannah Labrie. Anderson with 4. Hannah Labrie with her first. And the Vikings take a 53-49 edge. Rosie Anderson, 6-foot center, Moorhead, Minnesota. Between her and Ellie Powell, there's some good size and athleticism in that post position as Anderson knocks down the three-point play, and they're both freshmen. There's a future there for Valley City State in the interior, and Anderson's finished on a couple of big baskets tonight. The Vikings lead by 5. Backdoor cut, Tilly Pilsen, and she'll be fouled by Madison Wilhelmy. Wilhelmy with her second. And the Blue Hawks will keep the ball in the front court. Be the first foul in the fourth quarter against the Vikings. 54-49 on the LaRue-Laco Financial scoreboard. The Vikings leading by 5. First of a doubleheader. Men's basketball comes up after the completion of women's play tonight. Sam Ose off to the right for Tegan Townsend. Now to the top, Caden Steele working right. Hard take to the basket. Nibbles one off the rim. Rebound goes loose, and J.C. Richter runs down a loose ball rebound for Valley City State. Richter into the front court. Hard take towards the right side of the lane. Got down to the window. A stop and a look. Sends it back to Rosie Anderson, left elbow. Top of the key for Wilhelmy. And now Hebrink on the left wing. Hebrink driving to her left hand. Kicks out left corner. Able to find her way back to Richter. Shot clock approaching 10 on a takeaway. Wilhelmy tried to go down to Torres. Tinley Pearson jumped the passing lane. Ball back to Dickinson State. Pearson up front. Head fake by Caden Steele. Coming back left hand. Got to the basket and left it short, but a foul. Elise Hebrink's going to be called for her first tonight. And this will put Caden Steele on the foul line for Dickinson State. This one a little closer than the first time around. Vikings won the first time around in this matchup, 85-64. Big 21-point win for Valley City State out in Dickinson. That was on a Friday night the first time around. And now, of course, the Vikings missing Haley Roberts out of the lineup, so trying to make do at a position on the outside for scoring as Caden Steele knocks down the front end to give herself a double-figure night. She's now got 10. And the second of 2 foul shots coming up here. That one is also good for Caden Steele. So she'll now have 11. And Dickinson State's been able to frustrate the Vikings. A little pressure on the perimeter defensively, and the Vikings perhaps missing a couple of three-point threats, and it's caused some disadvantages for the Viking offense tonight. Ball left side of the floor, J.C. Richter looking down low, backing in. Rosie Anderson fall away on the baseline, ends up empty, and a rebound comes down underneath the basket for Caden Steele for Dickinson State. Then the Blue Hawks try to kick down the floor. Torres stepped in front of one and ends up booting the ball out of bounds. 7:34 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Blue Hawks will inbound at 54-51 Valley City State on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Inbounds pass, Ose left corner. Driving on Anderson, fall away off the glass, and Sam Ose with 18, which is now a game high. And Dickinson State back within one at 54-53. Very much a ball game coming down in the final 7 minutes and change. Ellie Broughton on the top of the key for Valley City State. Broughton working right side, a stop. Look back on top for Rosie Anderson. Flashing high, Ashlyn Deemer got a screen from Anderson. Works left, shuffle stepping away to the baseline. Stop, double pivot on Ose. Scoop layup missed. And Ose comes up with a rebound. The Vikings get back defensively. Dickinson State wants the lead. Backdoor cut for Caden Steele. She left the ball behind, then somehow got it back. Turns it out to Labrie. Townsend, quick pass to Ose, knocked away by Richter. And the Vikings have it, then lose it, then get it back, then lose it again. And Sam Ose picks it up and then turns it over on a backcourt violation. Oh my, what a sequence. The Vikings had it. Torres lost the basketball. The Blue Hawks got it. Then they lost the basketball. It was picked up again by Richter. Richter ends up losing it. It was won by, I believe by Tegan Townsend. No, Sam Ose picked it up. Went back to Tegan Townsend, who had already gone back into the Viking front court and the Blue Hawk backcourt. And the ball was thrown back behind the line, and Townsend had no chance to get that without the backcourt violation. So the teams rotate turnovers. Valley City State basketball after the end of that sequence. A stop, Deemert, fall away, missed short. Rebound, Whitney Edwards for Dickinson State. Still a 1-point lead for the Vikings at 54-53. Catherine Fox back in the game for the Blue Hawks. She'll pull up in front of the basket and miss. Rebound deflected out, and Elise Hebrink comes up with a deflected basketball. She had 5 rebounds at halftime. I think I've got her for 9 now. I'm going to pull up the stats here and see what Valley City State has for her. But Hebrink's had a big, big night, rebounding the basketball again for the Vikings. Again, Rodman-like, so says head coach Vanessa Johnson. Hebrink right side into Torres in the post, trying to back down on Edwards. Turnaround, fall away. Hit it for Torres. Adriana Torres with 10. Third Viking to double figures. The Vikings lead by 3 at 56-53 inside of 6 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Fox driving right side to the baseline, and it will go +1 for Catherine Fox and a chance to tie the game. Catherine Fox driving in to score her 5th in very limited minutes tonight due to foul trouble. Adriana Torres with her 2nd. And the Blue Hawks will have a chance to tie the game at 56-56. It's currently a 1-point Viking lead. 5:43 to go. Fox at the line. Bonus foul shot is off the heel of the rim, no good. And Ellie Broughton comes down with a deflected rebound for Valley City State. Still a 1-point Viking lead. Deemert casting for 3, hits it from the left wing. Ashlyn Deemert with a 20-point night. Huge 3 for the Vikings that pushes the lead to 2 possessions. Tegan Townsend in the front court. Vikings furious. They thought a double dribble had been committed by Dickinson State. Heather Labrie driving in, backdoor to Deemert. She was looking for Whitney Edwards, but Deemert steps in front of it, takes it away. Big chance for the Vikings coming into the front court. A drive by Elise Hebrink. Turns it back out on top for Deemert. The lead is 4 for the Vikings with the basketball. Brought in a head fake on a 3, driving. Got inside, got to the baseline, got the ball ripped away, and a timeout taken by Valley City State with 5:02 left to go in the fourth quarter. It's a mobility plus rehabilitation timeout and a 30-second stoppage. On the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, the Vikings 59, the Blue Hawks 55, halfway through the fourth. You're listening to Viking basketball.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Lockout Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue at 701-845-6938 or James M. Lockow at CPA 701-845-1660. Services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, and securities offered through Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer and member FINRA and SIPC.
Stay tuned in our post-game report. We will select our Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game Award winner. That award acknowledges an outstanding performance by a Viking. Elise Hebring could win it. She takes the inbounds pass, and Hebring scores her fourth. And the Vikings out of the timeout lead 61-55. Ivy Real Estate Group is saluting the hometown team. Ivy Real Estate Group, your only locally owned real estate brokerage in Valley City. Catherine Fox misses a pull-up jumper in the lane. Rebound, Adriana Torres. Here's a big chance for the Vikings to go up 3 possessions. It's Hebrink again. Got to the basket but missed the layup strong. And Tinley Pearson comes down with a rebound for Dickinson State. 4.5 minutes left to go, fourth quarter. On the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, the Vikings 61, Dickinson State 55. Catherine Fox to the elbow on the right side, high post, will hand off to Tegan Townsend for the Blue Hawks. Back to Tinley Pearson, flexing left to right, pops the jumper in the lane, missed it. Rebound deflected loose, and Ellie Broughton runs it down for the Vikings. Quick layout of the floor, too strong for Adriana Torres. The Vikings have been looking to transition tonight. That time they force it, and it will go back into the hands of Dickinson State. We'll see J.C. Richter back on the floor for the Vikings. The Blue Hawks will relieve Tinley Pearson. Sam Ose comes back into the matchup, and the Blue Hawks need a lot of Sam Ose down the stretch. We'll see how she's defended with 4 minutes to go. It may be Torres that comes out to get her. It looks like it will be. Labrie taking a look. Ose will set the screen. Usually goes the foul line after that. It's a jumper by Labrie. The shot's missed. The rebound comes strong. There's an injured Blue Hawk. Tegan Townsend's on the floor and holding at her right leg. I mentioned that when the Vikings played Dickinson State out in Dickinson, I don't believe we saw Tegan Townsend. She was in street clothes at that time, and she is down holding at her right leg and right now going to get a lot of help to get back up to her feet. And the way she went down, I mean, obviously that could be a thing from just that collision, but the way she went down, the situation she was in, it almost looks like she's battling an injury that has been there for a while and just re-aggravated it because she was reaching right at that spot almost immediately, and she gets help to the bench. You know, whenever we get to this point in the season, you know, the basketball season starts the end of October, and here we are nearly into February, and when I watch these players gutting out what they got out over all that time, all those practices, all those games, road trips, and just the drive to try to keep playing and play through injury, it really is something that we don't talk about enough, and we probably should talk about more than we do. Ball into the right corner, Tinley Pearson for the Blue Hawks. Into Ose, right block. Catherine Fox kicking out. 3 on the way by Steele is off the heel of the rim. A rebound brought down by Labrie, and then Torres ties it up. Turns into a held ball, and the Vikings will get it off the possession arrow. Another opportunity for the Vikings to open up a 3-possession lead. 3:31 left to go in the fourth quarter. And the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard reads 61-55. In favor of Valley City State over Dickinson State. A stop, ball to J.C. Richter. Back to the top of the key, Ashlyn Deemert. Richter back to Deemert on the left side. Stop and go dribble down the baseline. Stop inside to kick out. And a long 2-point jump shot that's up and off, no good from Torres. Didn't give herself much of a chance to make that one. That was a line drive right at the rim. Ball goes back to Dickinson State and the rebound, and Dickinson State will call for a timeout. 61-55, Dickinson State trailing the Vikings by 6. On the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, 3:06 left to go in the fourth quarter. This seems a bit ambiguous as to whether or not it's a 30 or a full. Going to take a 30. We'll come back with more after a Mobility Plus rehabilitation timeout.
Every body is different. Some experience injuries, while others need extra support.
I'll help you, Grandma.
At Jamestown Regional Medical Center, your health is what matters most. Our orthopedics and sports medicine team care for you and your unique needs. Their goal is to help you live your best life. Choose Jamestown Regional Medical Center for care of hips, shoulders, knees, and broken bones. Learn more at jrmcnd.com/orthopedics.
61-55, Valley City State leading Dickinson State by 6 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard with 3:06 left to go in the fourth quarter. The Vikings Getting back defensively as Dickinson State tries to turn away a few opportunities for the Vikings to take a 3-possession lead late. Sam Ose had it, whistle foul. Ashlyn Deemer trying to reach from behind to force a held ball. It won't be Deemer that picks up the foul, though. It's going to be J.C. Richter. And J.C. Richter looks awfully confused. That's also the 4th team foul against the Vikings. So with 2:56 left of the 4th quarter, the Blue Hawks enjoy the penalty for the remainder of the game. Inbounds play top of the key to Heather Labrie. She'll work left to kick out left corner. Catherine Fox stepping back, checking her position to make sure she was taking a 3 by looking down, and then misses the shot short. And here's another chance for the Vikings to take a 3-possession lead. Up the floor, the ball with Ellie Broughton for Valley City State. Tinley Pearson comes out to pressure her. Broughton a stop, working right side. Got the basketball to Ashlyn Deemer. High-low game. Torres catch and shoot, missed it. Got her own miss, kicks to Richter. That was blocked. Torres again comes up with the basketball. And now apparently Torres stepped on the baseline. That'll be out of bounds off the Vikings and go back to Dickinson State. Ellie Powell set to come in. We haven't seen a lot of Ellie Powell in the second half here. She'll come on to replace Adriana Torres. Defensive, offensive change perhaps. Rebounding change perhaps. Torres with 2 fouls. Ellie Powell has none, so Powell has a foul to give, and they may decide to send Sam Olds to the foul line rather than give her an easy basket. We'll see if that's the way they play it. Caden Steele, near side to Heather Labrie, back into Ose, and Powell on her right away, and Powell fouls her, and it doesn't matter as she finishes. Oh, boy. Sam Ose will knock down the shot, and we're going to see a foul inside. Ellie Powell, I believe, will pick it up. It'll be Ellie Powell's first, and it will. So the plan was definitely to prevent Sam Ose from getting an easy basket. The foul was committed not hard enough, and Ose will go to the foul line to look to complete a 3-point play and cut the Viking lead in half, and the foul shot's good, and it's now 61-58. The Viking lead has been cut to 3. 21st point for Sam Ose tonight, which is a game high. 1-possession game and a foul coming up against Tinley Pearson from behind, pressuring the drive of Ellie Broughton to the Vikings. Pearson's first. 2:03 left of the 4th quarter. The Vikings have committed 5 fouls, so the penalty's there for Dickinson State. Ball on the top of the key for Hebrink. Ashlyn Deemer stepping left, working down the left side of the lane, out to Broughton in the corner. Broughton thought about, at least looked at a 3, maybe didn't think about it, but took a look at it. Richter, left side for Hebrink, shot clock at 10 seconds. Hebrink taking a look for Deemer, who steps out on the top of the key. Deemer wants a screen, calls for it, pulls up on a jump shot, missed it well short after it was challenged by Ose. Catherine Fox comes up with a basketball and brings Dickinson State in the front court in a 3-point game. 1:35 left to go in the 4th quarter. 61-58 on the LaRue Financial scoreboard. Steele for 3 to tie it, misses off the heel. The Vikings come up with a basketball. Deemer and the Vikings a chance to reclaim a 2-possession lead as we approach the final minute of the 4th quarter of play. 61-58 Vikings. Right side Broughton for Valley City State. Clock winding down. Broughton taking a look left side, starts the play. Kick to Richter on the top of the key. Richter gets a screen, shuffle steps in, kicks out. Hebrink stepping into a 3, that's no good, but Powell comes up with a weak side rebound. It didn't draw iron. Deep 3 for Ellie Broughton, that's off the heel of the rim. Another offensive rebound. J.C. Richter comes up with a huge rebound for the Vikings, and the Vikings will call for timeout with 17 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. It's a timeout for LaRue Financial, timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation on our LaRue Financial scoreboard. 61-58 Vikings, 53.3 seconds left 4th quarter. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Why choose professional eye care centers? Let me count the whys. First, there are now 4 great doctors to see. Dr. Frank, Dr. Freilich, Dr. Jangela, and now welcoming Dr. Bond. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic frame selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Timeout taken by the Vikings after a shot with time winding down on the shot clock for Ellie Broughton that came up short, but a big offensive rebound for J.C. Richter that gives the Vikings another 20 seconds on the shot clock. Tonight, Elise Hebrink, they've got her for 8 rebounds. And J.C. Richter now with 5 rebounds on the night. Actually, 3 rebounds for J.C. Richter. I think she's got more, but nonetheless, the Vikings with the basketball and a chance to force a 2-possession game with 50 seconds left to go and counting. Shot clock at 10. Hebrink on the right side looking. Hebrink takes a look into the post for J.C. Richter, knocked away but picked up by Hebrink. Shot clock at 5. Diemert driving, left elbow, pull-up jump shot, rims in and out, no good. Sam Ose comes down with a rebound for Dickinson State and then threw the ball away. The Vikings challenged it, will be the call. It ends up out of bounds. So now 34.4 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. The Blue Hawks down 3. They can play for 2 possessions, or they can look to hit a 3 here, but they would need a 3 or a 3-point play in order to tie the basketball game. And a foul will be called against the Vikings. They're going to delay that as Adriana Torres comes out to challenge Sam Ose and lays in a foul from behind. Now, you can play the analytical game here, and this is something that came up at Viterbo when the Vikings had fouls to give. They decided not to, and a 3-point shot followed, and the Vikings don't want to give Dickinson State a chance to tie it. This would allow the Vikings, if they can get a rebound, or if Sam Ose hits them both, and she'll miss on the front end. So that leaves it a 3-point game. And what this does is, if you're the Vikings, even if Sam Ose hits this shot, all you have to do is get the ball inbounds, and they're at least going to have to foul you. Ose waiting at the line for her second foul shot. If she misses here, the rebound's super important for the Vikings. Ose back at the foul line. Number 2 is on the way. That one's strong off the heel, and the rebound to Torres. And now the shot clock turned off, and it's Dickinson State that has to foul. Tinley Pearson will foul Ashlyn Deemer. The only problem for Dickinson State, that's just their 3rd team foul of the quarter. So they'll have to foul 2 more times to put the Vikings on the line for the double penalty. Vikings will inbound. It comes into Deemer in the backcourt. Deemer running away. Crossover dribble to get free. Comes left side to Broughton. Broughton a crossover dribble. Whistle and a foul coming up against Dickinson State. That brought the clock down to 18 seconds. Foul will go against Sam Ose, her first. The Vikings have one more chance to try to kill some clock, and now a timeout will be taken by Dickinson State. So the Blue Hawks will call for timeout with 18.8 seconds left to go. 61-58 Vikings on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Vikings with the basketball and 18.8 seconds left when we come back after a Mobility Plus rehabilitation timeout. This is Viking basketball.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
18.8 seconds left, and the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard reads Vikings 61, Blue Hawks 58. The first of a doubleheader tonight. The second half of our doubleheader will feature the Viking men and Dickinson State. The Viking women trying to put this in the win column and move their record in the conference to 4-3 and keep themselves afloat in the middle of that North Star Athletic Association stack to try to claim a home game in the North Star Athletic Association tournament. But with 18.8 seconds left, the Vikings have the basketball. Dickinson State will have to foul if they cannot get the inbounds pass. The Vikings are currently with Torres on the far sideline, and they're running in a circle to prevent Dickinson State from knowing which way they were going to break. Deemer comes away with the basketball and is fouled by Heather Labrie. That's an interesting plan for the Vikings. So what they did was their other 4 players got in a tight circle and then just ran in circles to prevent the Blue Hawks from really knowing who was going to come away with the basketball, and Deemer went into the backcourt to take it. Deemer's first foul shot banks off twice and is no good. This is a nightmare if the Vikings can't get it to go, and there's Vanessa Johnson looking up at the scoreboard again. Viterbo, the Vikings were 15 of 28 from the foul line and lost in overtime. Second foul shot is good. That puts it to a 2-possession game. 21 points for Ashlyn Deemert. Makes it 62-58 with 16.9 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. We have a timeout by the Vikings, and let's pause for 10 seconds for station identification. This is Viking basketball on the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
This is 1490 KOVC AM Valley City and 96.3 K242CZ Valley City.
The voice of the Valley.
16.9 seconds left to go in regulation. The Vikings leading by a score of 62-58 over Dickinson State University in the first half of our doubleheader tonight. The women's half of the doubleheader. The Viking men are due up next. The Vikings had a few opportunities to take a 3-possession lead late in the second half. They couldn't. They had as much of a 6-point lead in the second half. And down the stretch, the Blue Hawks with a chance to tie the basketball game on a 3-point play or a 3-pointer. They came up empty. And then the Blue Hawks had to foul 3 times to put the Vikings on the foul line. Ashlyn Diemert missed one, hit the other. So it's a 2-possession game, 62-58, and the Blue Hawks will inbound at half court. Inbounds play coming in from Labrie. They go into Sam Ose, who defends the goal, goes against Richter. Threw a ball up for grabs, missed it, and a tap putback's no good. And then Ose fouls Richter hard underneath the basket. That was, I'll tell you what, Sam Ose, I'm not sure if she was just being determined or what, but there was a little aggression on that play from Sam Ose, and maybe got away with a walk in there as well while she was throwing elbows against J.C. Richter, and don't know if I like that play a whole lot. Richter to the foul line, chance to put this one on ice. First one's on the way, and it's no good. That foul line is a tough, tough challenger. It's a really good defender against Viking shooters. Second one's on the way for Richter coming up. It's on the way. That one's good. J.C. Richter, nothing but net on that one. She's got 11, and the lead is 5 at 63-58. So a 4-point play does not tie the game now for Dickinson State. And the Vikings look to be on the verge of pulling their record to 10-11, 4-3 inside North Star Athletic Association play. Not an easy one tonight, but a chance for the Vikings to get it into the win column and move on to Mayville State on Friday night up at the Louis Lee Fieldhouse. We'll have a brief post-game report, and we will come back with our second half of the doubleheader, which is our men's half, in just a bit, and we'll announce for you what time we're going to start that broadcast. We're going to give you an update. Fox News will catch us up on the first part of our little matinee, if you will, or I should say our intermission of sorts, before we get ready to bring you men's basketball tonight. So stay with us for that. But first, the finishing touches on this one this evening, and it's been kind of a helter-skelter finish. But nonetheless, the Vikings trying to put it into the win column and move on to the next round, or move on to the next game. And tell you what, when you're missing a player like Haley Roberts, it should not be overstated how difficult it is for the Vikings to find offense when you're missing that player and that sort of presence on the outside. Inbounds pass to Catherine Fox is knocked loose. The Vikings take it away, and Sam O steps over and fouls J.C. Richter again. And so Sam Olson will pick up her third. I mean, the math just didn't really favor that, but I suppose Vikings in your backcourt, you foul. Vikings in your, Vikings in your front court, you foul. Vikings in your backcourt, you let it run out. Richter's at the foul line. First one's on the way and good. And JC now with 12. 21 points for Ashlyn Diemert tonight. That's a Koge high with Sam Hose, who had 21. Second foul shot is on the way for Richter. That one rolls in. Richter will finish with 13 this evening. You know, some key baskets that kind of get overlooked. Rosie Anderson's 2 buckets in the post tonight, where she'll finish with 5, but they came at key times. One that tied the game at the end of the opening half. One here early in the fourth quarter when the Vikings needed a post presence. Ellie Powell with 6 points tonight. A couple of big offensive rebound putbacks. I mean, there's just some parts of this that get lost when you sort of focus in on the hard numbers, that players like Ellie Powell and Rosie Anderson end up making really big contributions that could sneak by you. The 8 rebounds for Elise Hebrink tonight. That's a big deal. And the Vikings a really good rebounding night. Adriana Torres with 6. Ellie Broughton had 5. Ashlyn Diemert, J.C. Richter each with 4. 7 rebounds for Ellie Powell tonight to go with her scoring. That's a nice night for the freshman out of Bowman, North Dakota. Inbounds pass out top of the key. Caden Steele for the Blue Hawks. Drives the lane, pulls up, banks off strong. Rebound to Elise Hebrink, who will get her 9th rebound tonight, and the Vikings will put it in the win column. 65-58, your final score. The Vikings with a 7-point win tonight here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse to grab their 4th win inside conference play. The Vikings are 10-11, 4-3 in the league. Dickinson State's 1-6, 6-15 in the overall campaign. A brief post-game report, and a wrap-up next. This is Viking basketball.
Lever's Foods, best quality, best price. Lever's Foods, best service, they're nice. Lever's Foods, they make everything right. Lever's Foods.
All this week at Lever's Foods in Valley City, save on Tombstone original pizzas, 2 for $7.88. Fresh oranges, 99 cents a pound. Boneless pork loin chops, just $2.99 a pound. General Mills cereals, 2 for $6.88. And sweet yellow onions, only 99 cents a pound. Delivery is available by calling 845-1732. Lever's Foods, Valley City.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Final score in women's basketball tonight. The Vikings with a 65-58 win over Dickinson State. Welcome to our post-game report tonight. The Viking women will improve to 4-3 in the league, 10-11 overall. Dickinson State drops to 1-6 in North Star Athletic Association play, 6-15 overall. Big night tonight again for Ashlyn Deemer, who just continues to produce for the Vikings. 21 points tonight, a tough shooting night. 9 of 22 from the field for Ashlyn Deemer, but 21 points nonetheless. J.C. Richter, 13 points, 4 rebounds. Adriana Torres, 10 points and 6 rebounds tonight. Elise Hebrink ends up with 4 points and 9 rebounds. Ellie Powell with 6 points and 7 boards. Couple of big numbers there. Rosie Anderson with 5, Madison Wilhelmy with 4, and Ellie Broughton with 2. Dickinson State led by Sam Ose, nearly a double-double. 21 points, 9 rebounds for Ose tonight. Caden Steele, 11 points. Whitney Edwards with 7, Tinley Pearson with 6, Heather Labrie with 5, also Catherine Fox with 5 tonight, and 3 for Tegan Townsend. And our Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game Award tonight, brought to you by Ivy Real Estate Group, your locally owned real estate brokerage in Valley City. You know what? Going to give that to Ellie Powell tonight. 6 points, 7 rebounds for Ellie Powell. Big rebounding night, couple of big baskets when the Vikings needed it. Ashlyn Deemert's been on a tear, receiving that award as of late. And it's not that you have to spread it around, but it's nice to acknowledge some of those other performances. And tonight, a great performance for Ellie Powell, who didn't really play a lot of minutes tonight. Only 17 minutes for Ellie Powell, but 6 points, 7 rebounds. A really nice night, including 4 offensive rebounds for Ellie Powell. That's something that deserves recognition. And so Ellie Powell will pick up our Ivy Real Estate Group Player of the Game Award, brought to you by Ivy Real Estate Group. They are your locally owned real estate brokerage in Valley City. And that's going to do it for our coverage of Viking women's basketball tonight. We're going to be back at 7:20. 7:20 will be the start time for Viking men's basketball. So join us at 7:20, a brief break here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. And the Viking men in Dickinson State are up next. This is Viking basketball. Here's Fox News, the latest.
News, I'm Tom Graham. CEOs of social media companies face criticism during a Senate hearing today. They're accused of not doing enough to protect children and teens online.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg and Snap CEO Evan Spiegel apologized to the families in the room who say their kids were hurt or, even worse, lost their lives because of social media. But neither of the executives squarely took responsibility.
Fox Business Network's Grady Trimble on Capitol Hill. Former President Donald Trump met with Teamster leaders today in Washington as he tries to pick up a key endorsement from the massive union.
And I think we had a very productive meeting. Stranger things have happened. Usually a Republican wouldn't get that endorsement.
President Biden recently received the backing of the United Auto Workers Union. America is listening to Fox News.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Want to get your hands on the next big thing? At Verizon, new and existing customers can trade in their old Samsung phone, any model, in any condition, and get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus with Galaxy AI on us, with select unlimited plans. A better plan to save is Verizon. $999.99 device payment or a full retail purchase with new or upgrade smartphone line on unlimited ultimate or select 5G unlimited plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR.
Here is your Egg Central forecast from meteorologist Mick Hare. Tonight, clear, cool. We'll look for lows in the mid-20s. Winds will turn northwest at 5 to 15. Thursday, mostly sunny, less warm, continued mild. We're looking for a high temperature in the low 40s. Then on Friday, we'll look at highs in the 40s. And for the weekend, low temperatures in the 30s, highs in the 40s, and a few scattered, very light rain showers or sprinkles. For more weather, log on to newsdakota.com.
KOVC, 1490 AM and 96.3 FM. The voice of the Valley.
Find you a girl on a Friday night, dancing in the back of a bar. Or Sunday morning, hands up high, singing front row in the choir. You can find you a girl through a friend of a friend, or she could show up right out of the blue. It don't matter where you find her, just as long as you find you a girl